So we are starting part 5 of tracker and shop drawing training today. What we're going to do is kind of review the overall layout of shop drawings. Last week or last session, we looked at just some frontlit drawings. So I'm going to show you where we list customer specs. If they've got partner specific specs saying Yesco or Joe Sign Shop or whoever always wants certain whip length or pattern type or this or that. And then we'll review some other types of letter shop drawings like reverse, trimless, maybe a push through so that you can see where the specs are on there. And then we'll try to just keep that to a half hour. At the next session, we'll go over all the different tabs on a shop drawing. Then we will probably review tracker and shop drawings real quick and then just do like a worksheet to try to review, make sure you guys know what you're learning, where to look for everything, because the easier you guys can look, the better it is for the customers and the less overall we need to do. So I will stop sharing that screen and I will go to this one. So on what I will call for now the main project tracker, which currently is titled July to December 2025 project tracker. As I previously said, this is like our whole library, our whole schedule, but within each line is the shop drawing. On the left side of the tracker is all the very rough information. And then once you open the shop drawing, which is just a hyperlink, so you could hover over any job, click it, and then that will open a shop drawing. And then the shop drawing has all the nitty gritty on that, all of the details. So everything that you fill out in the order form will be there, any other additional specs. And it is just our breakdown for the shop so that everyone can see all the details. So the job project tracker just has the basic information and the shop drawing has all the small stuff. So this is a Maverick, keep this here. But as we reviewed last time, the top of the shop drawing has the company's, what the sign says, who we're making it for. Eventually we'll put in the production date when we're out further on our schedule. It has the job number. It has the mock-up of the sign so that you know what the size is, the overall dimensions, who we're contacting for the job, what their job name is, their billing terms, whether it is net or 50-50. Net means they can pay us 30 or 60 days after the job ships. Other companies, we need to be paid in full. Invoice number, the PO number, the quote number, and we've got number of sets, number of pieces. Remember, for pieces, if the logo is in multiple pieces, you count each section of it. If there are commas, if there are apostrophes, we will count that. Every little piece is counted. It's got the overall linear footage, and then if there are multiple sets, it just multiplies the linear footage so that we know overall. Got the sales rep there. And then last week I talked about customer requests. So bigger customers or customers who order with us more often might have specific customer requests. These are all listed here. These auto-populate. So when we select the drop-down for Yesco Salt Lake, those are all just alphabetical. Not click that, but when you select Yesco Salt Lake, all of their items automatically populate. So Yesco always wants wall busters. Yesco always wants 20-foot whips and top ULs. We put the pattern in the bag for them because they often store stuff outside for a while, so that helps it, the patterns not get ruined. They want France Power Supplies, which is a different brand than we normally use. Ask what white acrylic they want. As we've seen on some buck stops here, 2447 white is DSW standard. Other companies prefer 7328. They've had some QC issues, so we put Blake and Lucas must review, must be perfect. Direct trucks, which we often ship them direct trucks because this Maverick is a big gas station chain. So we make Maverick signs sometimes 10, 20, 30, 40 at a time. We fill up a full truck, and they don't like an enclosed trailer. They prefer an open bed one based on their receiving department. So if a customer says, hey, I like working with you, but I always want X, Y, and Z customer specs, this top area is where that flows in, and then it automatically populates lower on the shop drawing. Zoomed out that much. And then again, that shows per artwork raceway, UL on top, it auto-populates. Must be perfect. Blake and Lucas to QC. Last week, we looked at a flush mounted job. If it is mounted on a raceway. So the very top is all the contact information. Next is the numbers and the stats of the job. Notes for the ship or notes for the shop. We've got the regular layout, the LED layout over here. And then when we get into all the materials lower on the shop drawing. So mounting, what type? It's a standard raceway. There's one raceway on here based on the length. We can do 119 inches in one section without a seam. If they're okay with a seam, we'll go up to 140 inches, but usually we do not ship anything over 140 inches because that causes oversized crates and oversized shipping fees. But for the mounting materials or routing materials, the mount, this is raceway, it will be shown here. Our standard is 5 inches wide, 6 inches tall, but this they specified 3 by 5, and it is 71 inches long. Later down on the shop drawing, we are going to paint the sign. What are we painting? The raceway. If the returns and trim needed it, we would just change the drop down, and we are painting this. Normally we flip it where it would say SW7591 Red Barn. On this we just typed Red Barn, but whenever possible, always get a color description along with the actual color, because if you or I or the shop just sees SW stands for Sherwin-Williams, which is a major paint company over here, 7591, you'd still have to look in their book to try to figure it out. But if you see Red Barn, you go, oh, that's a red, and barns, that's just a building. That's kind of a typical building color. But if we fat fingered this and did SW951 and it came out green, and we saw Red Barn, that would be an additional QC place for us. So when they're mixing the color, it's great to have this reference. Is it gray? Is it green? Is it blue? Oh, it's Red Barn. Or if it's sunset orange or, some descriptor, it just helps us because then we can also look at the mock-up of the building and go, oh, it's Red Barn. The building is brick. That makes sense. But just having the number doesn't always help us. So when in doubt, train the partner to give us the number. So SW is the color system. The number 7591 is a specific color in their system, but then they also name it Red Barn. It's great to have all three. It just gives us one extra layer so that we don't screw that up. Bottom of shop drawing just kind of runs out of space, but we have pre-production notes over here. So UL top, not standard power supplies because we are using France power supplies. So here, this lit up or got highlighted green because we are not using our standard principle. France is just another manufacturer, but that is where you would look. So our custom notes, it says France there. Pre-production gets the reminder here, do not use our standard, and then this color makes it stand out so that you could look differently. Anytime there is a non-standard spec, usually we try to highlight it in a color so that your eye gets drawn to it. So that is a raceway job with customer requests on there. So if a customer says, hey, on every job I want something, you could email one, noted in QuickBooks and HubSpot, but then two, send an email to Alex, ag@directsignwholesale.com, and he can update it so that here it always lists whip length or Tyvek pattern or never ship here or just notes so that we don't have to ask the customer every time. If they're ordering regularly, we can do what they want. This is just where we list it for an extra layer of protection. Instead, we will look at a trimless job. So Crumble is trimless. We got about 30 of those on the schedule. This is one of Lucas's big accounts. He's working 2 different customers right there for it. So on the product type on the top of the shop drawing, it says trimless frontlit. So that's where you would look and you would see the specs. We've got the layout. So this is a big one, 52 by 182. So because it's bigger than 12 feet, we have to have 2 dimensional backers. That's what DNB is. So there's an 85-inch one and a 97-inch one. This customer also has special notes, include PO and job area, power supply boxes on flush mount, CC the project management team. So on this, Jennifer ordered it, but they wanted sent to their whole team. Never ship to Vacaville address because in QuickBooks and our invoicing, they've got a PO address, but they are a broker. All of their staff works out of their homes. So we never ship anything to their billing address, which is why we noted that. They always want 6-foot whips. They've got their other customer requests. So for trimless, very similar layout. You've got the faces, there. You've got the dimensional backers. So we've got the 2 links broken out there. Letter bending. So instead of 3 or 5 inch, we use what's called letter form, that special trimless coil. So that's shown there. The paint, Crumble actually has their own paint color. So it's Crumble Pink in the system. They always want drain hole covers. So that's listed there. But otherwise, trimless shop drawings look extremely similar. It's just where the trim cap typically is here, there's nothing because it's not required. But again, up top, the product type is always listed there. And then on the main project tracker, all trimless jobs are blue. So if you see blue, that's a great indication that it is trimless. And then you will be looking for different specs. You won't have to ask for trimless. We default to a certain back, but the trimless acrylic is typically different depths. Crumble is unique that they do have 3/16 acrylic, but typically with trimless, it would be 1/4 inch or 1/2 inch. So when you're filling out the order form, those are different specs that should be drawing your eye. So next, I'll show you a reverse lit job. All of our reverse lit letters show up in green on the tracker. Green for reverse. Reverse has its own section. So this Moogie Farms, however you say that, same layout. You just see reverse lit here. DaVinci, big customer. They've got lots of custom specs there. We'll scroll down. So routing materials, reverse faces are aluminum. So instead of acrylic, reverse has 063 aluminum. Mill finish, which just means it's raw aluminum, 0.063. Mounting type, it is flush mounted. One thing with reverse jobs, typically they're stood off because if it's flush against the wall, you won't see the halo lighting. So you have to space it or stand it off the wall. So here they want 1.5 and then it just shows the quantity. The quantity is just you count all of our mounting holes. So there are 49 holes in the back. There are 11 letters, and for reverse letters, for the electrical, they need a custom metal standoff. So there are 11 letters. So we'll have 11 metal standoffs and then 49 regular plastic standoffs. DaVinci prefers 5,000K LEDs. That's noted up here and here instead of our standard 71. But then going back to materials. So routing, you route the faces. The backs are polycarbonate instead of ACM. And typically we do white. So this is purple because it's different than what we normally do with ACM. So it's a polycarb back. Polycarb lets the light out the back. And then it is a white polycarb on that. Reverse letters are called reverse because they're built basically the reverse or opposite way. So the light shines out the back instead of the front. So the back is see-through instead of the face. The face is now 063 aluminum. Letter bending. With letter bending, it is always a mill finish because then we paint our reverse letters. So it's 040 thick, and then it's 4 inch tall. With reverse letters, we get a couple different options because we can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inches deep, as opposed to face lit with trim cap. It's usually just 3 or 5. So this has 4 inches deep, and the color is custom. That just indicates that we're gonna have to paint it. So reverse letters always get painted, and the paint section is here. So what are we painting? All of the faces and returns. And then what are we doing, or what is the color? Axo is our company, and then it is white. We will be filling out the standoffs. Sometimes we paint standoffs. Other times we just leave them just raw, which is just a gray color. But if they wanted us to paint them, we would fill it out in this area. And then everything else is just the standard notes here. Reverse push through jobs are still under the reverse section, but push through will look slightly different. So again, it's just a hyperlink. You click it, it loads to a Google Sheet or an Excel file. Product type, the materials will always dictate what the style is, but when in doubt, look up here where the product type is, and then I'll tell you, is it front lit, is it non-lit, is it reverse lit, etc. They've got some specs on here. LED layout type to prevent hot spotting. That's just something the shop decided, but we're standing this off. So again, it gets the PVC standoffs on there. So for push through, the routing looks a little bit different. So the faces on this job, the gray background is all an aluminum face. And then everything else, all the blue and the green drawing is pushing through the face of the logo. So on this, we have to route the faces twice. So first, we route the acrylic. What are we routing? The push-through portion. What is it? It's 2447 half-inch white acrylic. So it's the depth of the material is half-inch. The color is 2447 white. And then the face of the sign is 063 aluminum. And then it is mill finish because we will then paint that. Because we are doing white and then the letters get color, we need graphics on there. And one thing with push through is we only push through clear and white acrylics. That's because 1/2 inch and 3/4 acrylic that we use for push through is not very common. So our manufacturer, our vendors for those only stock the most popular colors, which is clear and a couple shades of white. They're not going to have a green, a red, a blue, or different shades of those pushing through. So the face, we could do one color, but the edge on the side of the push through will be white or it will be clear. So to get the face to be any color other than white or clear, we need the graphics on there. So here is where we have the graphics. The P is one color. What is it? A digital print. Here's the color we are printing. Who are we getting it from? RMG stands for Rocky Mountain Graphics. That is the company we get our digital prints from. And what are we printing? We are printing translucent. The B is a different color, 300C. That's also full cover, the layout, as opposed to per artwork, which just means there's inlays and we have to weed it and mask it. All else, so this is the main color, is the 282C. Everything else are different colors. So quickly going back to the artwork, the P is green, the blue, the B is light blue, and then all else is Pi Barker Fire Safety. Instead of typing all that, we just say, this is a special color, that's special color, everything else is that dark blue. On this, it is push through, but they also want the back to light. So to get the back to light, we're going to need to use clear polycarb. And then down here, letter bending. So we're doing aluminum returns. We are going to paint it. What are we painting? All faces, all returns. So we did the sides out of mill or raw finish. It's called mill because that's how you get it from the metal mill, the aluminum mill or the steel mill. So that is the finish it comes from the mill or the factory. All faces returns. We are painting a silver metallic color. Pattern for fabrication so that we know how to mount it, where everything's mounting. We've got our notes here. These LEDs are really packed in. Sometimes with push through, we might not need to put LEDs in here because that's aluminum, but because we want the whole can to reflect, we'll add a couple extra modules for it to light even and look good. There are 60 modules in it. This is one logo and there's one power supply in there. On the shop drawing, it's broken down again where the further you go down, the more detailed it is. The top is very basic info. Who is it? What is the name? What is the number? Next, it's contact info, phone, how do we bill you? After that, it's piece counts. Where are we shipping it? What does it look like? Any special job notes, LED layout, and then we just get into more materials, and what we're making it, how we're doing it, where we're cutting it. That covered pretty much all the different types of shop drawings. So the overall layout is always the same. But then depending on the style, you will have more or less areas filled out in different sections based on what is required. There's no paint right here. We're not going to show you paint. If there's no vinyl, it's not going to be there. The cells will just be blank, but the fields are there if it's required. If it needs trim cap, it would be here. So it's the same base template. And then based on drop downs, based on the job style, different materials auto-populate. No, that was a lot to throw at you, but if you can understand the basic layout, then your eye will be drawn to different areas, and then the style will tell you, okay, if it's front lit, that means I'm going to have an acrylic face and trim cap. If I have reverse, trim cap won't be there, but it will need paint. If it's raceway, it will need paint. So your mind should start thinking, if it's blank, then it will need X, Y, and Z. If it's trimless, it will not have trim. It is therefore trimless. If it's push through, it will have acrylic and aluminum on the face. Any questions about today? Yeah. Any specific questions about just shop drawings today? Otherwise, I'll stop recording and I'll keep recording just in case it's beneficial down the road. But happy to stay on for however long with whoever. But now that you understand the basic layout, the main shop drawing tab, the next class on Thursday, we'll go over and review some of the tabs here on the bottom, the emails, the crating, the tracker import, the BOLs. This is 90% of the shop drawing, but all these other little tabs, there are bits and pieces that you can glean that will help you understand overall how the job is built, and then especially partner care, where it might be going, who we're shipping with, what are the different notes on there, so that when a customer calls up or a partner calls in, you can answer any of their questions. But this is the shop drawing. This is our one-stop shop for all the nitty-gritty details of each individual job. The tracker has the basic information, and then all the nuts and bolts, all the dirty details are on these different tabs. Any other general questions? Otherwise, people can leave if they want. Otherwise, I'll stay on and answer Al and whatever question, or sorry, Tom's question, whatever else people have.
Okay, Dave, I just need 1 minute with you after the meeting, please.
Yeah. So Marcel, you had a question. Then Tom, did you have one as well?
Yep, that is correct. I can shoot it up right now as well. If you can just, go through the tracker, it might be helpful for like others as well. Dave, I actually got a customer from Oak City Signs, and they were actually asking for their sign, which was not yet, shipped out. So when I actually went through the tracker, I put in the information which I have here in front of me as well. It's the job name is Blade Bar, and the job number is 113721. Let me just present my screen to you.
Yep. Go for it.
Dave, this is the project that I'm actually talking about. Now, when we see over here, when it comes to the shipping date, it is not yet mentioned. Whereas when it says that the completion date was supposed to be the 14th. Now, when the customer, the partner actually reached me out and asked me that what's the shipping date for this, and there is no tracking number on this as well. So can you just confirm me one thing, Dave? When I went through the entire information, is there something that I missed out because there was no tracking number? What's actually holding this specific job to ship? Everything is green. Everything is okay.
Yep. And you said, I just can't see your screen very well. 113721 Blade Bar.
That is correct. Blade Bar.
Actually, here, everyone can kind of pull up the tracker on their own, but everything is green.
Yeah.
So that indicates the sign is done. It has been packaged. The due date was a 7/14. 7/15 was the completion date.
Correct.
Can it ship? Yes or no? I was in the shop earlier and didn't see this. I'm going to right click on that. Can it ship? Yes. And that was changed on the July 8th. So that should have been able to ship. The job has been paid in full. If you go all the way to the right side of the tracker, Jimmy updated that on the 17th. So it should have shipped, but the customer called and they said they have not received it yet.
No, they were actually asking that what's the, turnaround time for this project? When are they going to actually receive it? I actually went through the tracker while having them with me over the phone. Let them know that everything is completed. So you will be for sure, receiving this sign very soon. But I did not promise any specific time frame or any date. Because when I actually went through the tracker, everything seems to be okay. Everything seems to be green. So what I was not getting was why is it still on hold? I mean, is there something that I missed out from the tracker?
No. So 7:15, and that was supposed to go. So it shows that it shipped. Or it should have. It's been crated. That is going to Raleigh, which is normally Esther, normally Saya. One thing I would do then is why you guys get the scans every day is so that you can look to see what jobs have shipped. So everything on the tracker indicates it should have shipped. However, there's no shipping listed. And we've got a date for the completion date. So it should have shipped date. It is either in our yard for some reason, but that doesn't make sense. Or I guess we never, in column CY at the end, that is normally green once it's on the truck. So I wish I could give you a straight answer right now. This is one of those where someone's going to have to physically go out, look to see if it's in our yard or if it just got stacked behind something. If not, I will then look at the scans and see. So I'll one, do a visual check, and then two, the daily shipping emails that we get at the end of each day. You could then go to the 15th when the sign was completed. It was paid for at that point. Actually, if you go over to DF, the payment column on the far right, that will tell you the date it was paid. Jimmy marked it full on the 17th. So it was completed on the 15th, which was a Tuesday. They paid on Thursday the 17th. So we could have shipped it on Thursday, or otherwise we'd want to ship it on the 21st or the 22nd. So you could check the shipping docs for the 17th. The 21st we did not work. The 22nd, and it should be on one of those. Someone maybe just forgot to update the tracker, but I will start with a visual, verify that it's here or not, and then I will get with Jacob and see if it's not on the scans. And then from there, we might have mislabeled it. We might have not put it on the correct truck. There could have been something else, but this was made on the 15th. It didn't ship on the 15th because we did not have money for it. Therefore, but we got paid on the 17th. It should have shipped on the 17th or a later date, but there's no tracking, which means either we didn't update it on our end or we didn't update our paperwork correctly. So that's a long way of saying, I'll get back to you. More research is needed, but I will, after this, run out to the shop, stretch my legs. I don't think I saw it in our big stack of crates. Normally, where our crates are, if something isn't paid, we just put it to the side, or if we're holding it for a direct truck. But I was out there earlier with Jacob, and most of the stuff was either shipping today or tomorrow. But I might even FaceTime you or do a huddle just so that you can kind of see that area. So let me answer Marcel's questions unless you had anything additional on this, but this is something fluky and needs more research.
Got it, Dave. For sure. Thanks. Thank you so much.
Next up, Marcel. What you got, buddy?
Got a question regarding an order, not regarding the tracker.
Okay, sure.
Yep, just a second. Let me share the screen. Okay, so we have this one right here. Let me open up the attachments. Okay, so as you can see, as per the estimate, it's push through, like reverse push through frontlit logo. The art file says the same, but I checked with the order filling. Here I get the acrylic, the vinyl, the trim cap details as well.
Well, there shouldn't be trim cap on a reverse backs logo, but that's part of some glitches in the form that we're working through.
Was like confusing me, so I thought just to make sure, so I'm gonna fill this out like a regular one, like reverse push through. So should I like ignore these things then? The
Yes,
trim cap and
ignore
vinyl?
trim cap because push through items do not have trim cap. And
Right.
that BIDA or BIDA fencing, that was from a previous job that customer did. So there's something wrong with like the cache or the cookies on the order form, which Alex is working on. So it keeps info from previous orders or requests.
Right.
It doesn't always clear everything. So I've run across similar issues where it's like this spec doesn't match, or it says one job name here, but then vinyl for a complete different job name.
Yep. All right, that was my question. Thank you.
Okay.
I do have a question. Is billing address the physical address for the company that goes on the HubSpot?
Most companies, their billing is the same as their physical. Some companies will just have a post office box, but I would give that address a Google and see. I would say in HubSpot, we typically want their physical address because that's where we would be shipping, and where we're concerned if like someone ever goes on a sales call, they would want to visit their physical address as opposed to just maybe an address where only accounting is done.
So there was a partner, he gave me his shipping address as well, but they said go ahead and update our billing address on your account. So I was just thinking, where do I need to update this?
Anything billing related, just update QuickBooks if you guys have access to editing their address on there. If not, email Jimmy and say, hey, please update this company's address in QuickBooks, and he can handle that portion for you.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Amelia, Evan, Blair, any questions?
I'm all good. Nothing from my side.
All good, Dave.
All right, and OSC team, awesome work Friday. Awesome job yesterday. We got like 50 or 60 jobs on the top of the tracker because all the specs were in. So now the shop has work for the rest of this week and Monday. And now it's just, getting partner care to clean up everything. But the faster we could get it on, the better it is to set up for the shop. But yesterday and all this morning, I was busy, moving stuff down, QC, and that's what we like. Now it's up to Osama and the pre-prod team to design it all, get back, and put more on there for us. Cool. Thomas, I will send you a huddle request and we'll do a little FaceTime out in the shop, try to find that crate.
Sounds great, Dave. I'll be for surely waiting for that.
All right. Thanks everyone for joining. Message me if you need any huddles or everything else. Appreciate everyone joining. We will see you guys on Thursday. We're actually DSWU tomorrow, and then Thursday for additional shop drawing tracking.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Dave.
All right.
Thanks everybody.
Thanks.
Have a great afternoon or day.